It's been a while, since June 2023. Welcome back. I am on a journey going from nothing to everything I want. And what I want is simple. This is part 2 of a previous video I've made late June 2023, how I live in my tent without anyone knowing. If you haven't watched it, the link is attached. I have been on a mission to build myself up, from nearly nothing but a tent and an idea. And my main goal, among all of them, was to have everything I want, and the most important, to eventually be with my kids again, in a home and stable. But where are my kids? And where am I now on this journey? It's been almost a year. It is now March 17th, 2024, at the recording of this video. It has been about 8 months now since the first. So how far along have I come? The tent you see behind me is the original tent in the first video, still standing but torn. I left the tent just in case I needed to come back, and sort of left it open and cleaned for a special someone to stumble upon and enjoy. There was even a bed inside I left nice and cozy, no rent needed. And from the looks of it, someone did stumble upon it, a female if I could guess by the looks of it. And there were clothes she left behind, all either new or clean. But not my taste. I hope she gets them back before monsoon season begins. As a recap and an update, I began tent living April 2nd, 2023. I had a job, saved, and finally bought a car by July 9th. And eventually later that month I quit my job at the pizzeria, and by July 27th I left the desert entirely and relocated to Long Beach, California. But why Long Beach? Well, because my kids live there. They have been staying with their aunt there in the Long Beach area since that April after a physical fiasco between their mom and mine while she was visiting. The only decision left for all of us, especially for my mom, was to have my daughters and I leave, and we were kicked out that day. And having my kids camp with me didn't seem like an option, especially as summer was approaching. Unfortunately, no one likes the decision I've made to go on this journey, and so there is tension amongst the maternal family. So much so, they've involved court, claiming many things. Thankfully, I have been granted at least 2 days a week by the court to visit with them, which had been a success until as of recently, and now the maternal family wishes to keep me away indefinitely, trying everything they can, and I don't know why. My guess is that they've grown restless. They've spent money on my daughters, time and resources, perhaps waiting on me to get a place. My own daughters have been left confused and manipulated into believing a certain narrative about who I am and what I'm doing. This is the worst part of it all, because I can see they're upset. They have been nearly forced to believe that I'm a drug addict, crazy and dangerous, an anarchist, apparently I'm in a cult, and everything else under the sun. Yet, and this is true, I have done nothing but show my support to all of them. I have even given their family money weekly at one point, giving what I could at the time, and I made it nearly to every visit to see them. And I'd have no problem seeing them more often. After all, traveling in a car, living and working anywhere I want, I can do that and have that freedom. And so when I'm in Long Beach, I stay nearly only down the street from them. I don't hit my daughters. I don't hurt them in any emotional way. I do everything I can to protect them while they're with me. I feed them plenty of food, take them out to dinner, buffets. They love buffets. You should see how happy they are, picking out whatever food they want. I have even given my daughters money, even though they're only 8 and 9. Money can be empowering for their self-esteem in this world, no matter what age you are. Even though one of them spent $60 of it on a claw game at the mall. But we had fun, and that's what mattered. We've gone to the beach, parks, played, and I took them to the trampoline park, which is one of their favorite places. They are my daughters, and I love them. I love all my kids, my son included. Yes, I have a son, but that's another story. But I cannot make them or anyone see. My story will one day speak for itself. And now I wait until the next court date, this April. The judge will then determine which parent should be granted full custody. But there is a twist. What about their mother? Where is she at? It's tricky, and I say tricky because she's the one pulling the strings, making the calls and going to court and getting the paperwork done. Yet, she does not live there with them, nor do I think she wants that. With 6 kids she's had, She raises none at present. Her 2 recent daughters from an abusive ex were put up for adoption to a family here in SoCal. Her oldest daughter is being raised by a maternal grandpa. My son is in North Carolina with his maternal grandma, and my 2 daughters came with me shortly after her abusive relationship ended. She's told me herself, nearly word for word, that she doesn't want to raise kids full-time, if at all. That it isn't necessarily in her to be a mother, or something she wants to do. She's mentioned herself she's a better mother, but at a distance. It's been about a year now since I've heard that. Who knows if it's changed. But it isn't for me to judge how she feels or what has happened, or to even shame her. I think if a person knows themselves and who they are, it's better for everyone to be honest. It takes a tremendous amount of courage being able to admit to something like that, especially for a mom or a woman who's had children. If anything, I can only appreciate the honesty, if it is in fact honesty. Even at one point, early 2023, we were sort of close again, dating again after 3 to 4 years. And I can say we both worked well together, and the kids were happy. But I think we both became afraid, and I personally had more healing and alignment to do within myself, anyway. And then we separated again, and I'm okay with that. But because of this journey and not finding a place quite yet, and I can say, it's extremely difficult to get into a home or an apartment, let alone renting 2 rooms with someone acceptable and affordable enough. And doing this alone without a partner. California is no easy or cheap state to live in, and a 9-to-5 simple job certainly won't cut it these days. I'd like to think I can make more money doing DoorDash, but above everything, their family solution, as of recently, is to place my daughters in adoption. And this seems to be their plan. If the court and society and their family had allowed it, my daughters would be with me right now. Traveling, learning, in homeschool, probably making friends with the kids at Santa Monica Beach parks, or at some of the art events and classes in Venice Beach, which I also reside and love to be, making YouTube videos, creating what we will, as they are little artists and creatives themselves, until we finally made it into a home. Traveling and living out of an SUV or tent isn't an easy life, sure, but it's a self-rewarding one. It teaches you to become resourceful, dedicated, and determined, mindful of others and the self, and to appreciate this ever-changing world. It helps you become better at being social, and you get to see the world every day. Opportunities around every corner, but only with the right mindset and eye to see. This type of lifestyle can go pretty far and get pretty deep. At the beginning of this mission, I had nothing but a tent and an idea. Now I have my car and a fellow traveler, my friend, with me, my dog Sin. A growing YouTube channel of almost 2,000 subscribers, and I thank you all for that. I have a new camera and new camera equipment, and I've been marketing my photography everywhere in LA and OC since I've been down there. Even photographing families and couples whom are near celebrity status. If you know Danielle, a model and a host from Fox Sports and Malvi magazine, who I've recently took family photos of in Laguna Beach a few weeks back. This type of work I have just barely begun. I have traveled from the mountains and deserts to the beaches and cities of Southern California and everything in between. I now have my official DoorDash account as of October 2023, and I am almost monetized here on YouTube. Just a few more watch hours to go. Growing an audience, a community, watching, maybe wanting to start their own journey, I can say that I'm there with you. That it is possible to go from nothing to everything we want, even if we have to start in a tent and with a dream. At first, no one will know, and no one will care, and I'm okay with that.